Hey everybody, it is Natalie from Power Moon Tarot. Welcome to your reading. Today's reading is a pick an animal reading, and we're talking about what lessons you've learned in 2024. We're almost to the end of the year. It's a good time to take stock of the year, and we have about a month left of the year here, so might as well start our year-end review. And we really want to get to the heart of the matter on this one. And for me, some of the lessons that I've learned this year have been around vulnerability, asking for help. And I made a post last night on the community page, which if you're not subscribed to my channel, do subscribe. That way you get my community posts where I talk about, I'll end up talking a lot about the astrology of what's going on right now in the community posts, but do check the community posts. And another one I got for 2024 was emotionally overreacting. You are overthinking, which is causing a flood of unnecessary emotions. For myself, as I was preparing for this reading, and I thought, oh, I know it's going to be a powerful reading because this reading is already calling me out, and I haven't even started your guys' portion of the reading. So let's go ahead and get into your reading, everybody. And I'll go through each animal we have here. And you can go directly to the description box below to pick your animal, to pick your pile. You can pick more than one pile if you're feeling drawn to more than one. And let's go ahead and get into it. So for pile number 1, we have the lizard, and it says regeneration. As a survivor, you are unparalleled. No matter what happens, you can adapt. Embrace your transformation. Put on your new cloak. You are a master of regeneration. And I'm definitely getting the word chaotic. So if you feel like you had a very chaotic, lizard-like regeneration type of year, you'll choose the lizard for pile number 1. For pile number 2, we have the noble elk. Okay, and I love the northern lights in the background and the mountain in the background in this one. It says, celebrate your accomplishments with humility. You are crowned with success. Powerful forces guide you. Your ability to conquer challenges is limitless. So if you're feeling the energy of the elk, you'll choose pile number 2. Okay, and for pile number 3, we have the owl and the white snow owl, actually, with big, strong trees behind it. And it's talking about magic with this owl card. Choose to know the truth because you can. Open your inner vision. You can see through deception. Let the past go and make room for a better life. Rise up. Magic and wisdom are your birthright, okay? So depending on whatever pile you're feeling and whatever animal you are feeling, you will go ahead and choose that pile, okay? So let me go ahead and put piles 2 and 3 aside. If you're looking for a personal tarot reading from me, details for how to book one are in the description box below. Or if you're looking for a natal chart reading, you can book based on the website, my website that I posted below. So let me go ahead and begin. Pile number 1, welcome to your reading. You chose the lizard, and today's reading is a pick an animal, and we are talking about what lessons are learned in 2024 for you. We're ending the end of the year here. We're nearing the end of the year, and it's time to learn what lessons we have been partaking in for the year. It's so funny, last night, pile number 1, I was walking my dog, 7:30 at night last night, and it was really dark outside, and my neighbor popped her head out, and I said, good morning, really loudly to her, even though it was like pitch black outside and definitely nighttime. So 2024 could also be a year of acting silly and acting goofy and not really knowing what we're saying, but anyway. Pile number 1, as long as we can get a laugh out of it, right? The ability to laugh is important during these trying times. So let's go ahead and see. The lizard energy is all about adapting and transforming, shedding that skin and putting on a new cloak. So let's go ahead and see for pile number 1. Let's look at Ooh, pile number 1. We have the 3 of Swords just popped out there. So we're going to leave that right there. Might have been some pain and some tears this year. Some realizations that, people, betrayals or situations where it's like people are not who I thought they were, okay? Going through some emotional pain. Let's see what we have going on. What lessons have been learned in 2024? And yeah, on your lizard card, it says you are a survivor, unparalleled. So it's been a difficult year, okay? Continuing to move on and move forward without somebody, okay? And we have contemplation, gaining overview, detached observation, increased understanding, solitude, and integration through reflection. And, taking some nice walks at night to look up at the moon, taking a beautiful walk through the forest and feeling the silver light of the moon on you in quiet contemplation, detached observation, okay, solitude and integration through reflection. So it's deeply been the year has taught you a lot about contemplating how far you've come in your life, detached observation, not getting overly emotional, but just kind of standing back and staying detached and increasing your understanding of things, okay? I'm definitely getting Aquarius energy in this pile just right out of the gate. Perhaps some of you had a situation with an Aquarius, or you have Aquarius in your chart. But definitely that detached observation really is coming through in this reading. We have the Ace of Wands. We have the Lovers. Okay. And we have the Chariot. Okay. And something that started out very fiery and very robust between you and another person definitely could have ended in one person leaving or another person having to leave or go somewhere. We have I am creative. I love that with the Ace of Wands, okay? Angels are ready to fully support you in this endeavor so that you can co-create with the universe a life of love, a life you love, okay? The Lovers. Create the life that you love. And creating the life that you love may actually involve you having to leave where you're at, okay? And, the Lovers and the Ace of Wands is really about, especially the Lovers, is about connecting with people socially. The Lovers in the tarot represents Gemini energy, all right? But it also, I think with the Chariot here, it's about connecting with people quickly. With the Ace of Wands, connecting with people very quickly and things taking off very quickly with people that you've met during the year. But somehow it feels like you still end up maybe on your own at times, pile number 1, or you end up standing on your own at times, okay? And I'm getting something about a hotel or a hotel room. Maybe some of you were traveling or you were on the road, or someone was supposed to meet you at a hotel, something like that. But I am getting something about hotels. And, standing in quiet contemplation, it's interesting when you have a lot of social buzz and you're talking to a lot of people, and then all of a sudden those people leave, or all of a sudden you're kind of left alone to contemplate what happened. Okay, but in that missing space, I feel there's a lot of creativity. And the Ace of Wands is definitely that raw creative power. And you guys have the energy of 111 or 111 in your pile, and you are pile number 1. So there is magic and synchronicity that happened in 2024. But at the same time, maybe there's some things you had to leave behind, or people you had to leave behind, or connections with people that started off very robust, but kind of ended in somebody going the opposite direction than you are leaving. So it says, I am creative. We have frustration. Yeah, frustration. Restart from the very beginning. Ugh, pile number 1. That's what I was talking about with things popping off quickly. but then having to go back and restart from the very beginning. Restart from the very beginning and scrap anything already tried. The answer to moving beyond this irritation will only be found in exploring new ideas. Yeah, so having to scrap old ideas, having to scrap, and for those of you that are creative people in general, or you do something creative for your work or your hobbies, it's like starting off really strong with it and then getting kind of frustrated and then having to do something totally different. There could have been, especially with the Chariot energy here, there could have been a lot of start stops for you during the year. Start, stop, okay? And it's something I talked about in my 2024 forecast with the energy of Jupiter and Gemini squaring Saturn and Pisces. And I was talking about that stop, go, kind of energy that was going on. And so maybe some of you have really been feeling that kind of as things have been going on. In my forecast, I talked about the month of August in particular about being one of those stop, go. So maybe some of you did have a frustrating August, or you just had some frustrations this year. We have addictions. Think about the emotions you are trying to cover up. Deal with those emotions. Process, heal, and release those, okay? So that's interesting. And it may not be like actual addiction that you were dealing with, but it could be things that you're trying to quit. If you're trying to quit smoking, I mean, smoking is an addiction, or you're trying to quit vaping, or you're trying to quit like getting attached to people really quick right away and diving right in and then having to leave, or having the other person leave and go, okay? Or if there's an addiction to a particular person or relationship, you know, and sometimes it's like the addiction is just the rush of the new cycle, right? With the Ace of Wands there, just like the rush of a new attraction, or the rush of a new sexual attraction to get a dopamine hit, right? And then kind of you're off, right? Or then the situation kind of falls apart. And so this continual energy of spinning or creativity is something that has been going on for you in 2024. But maybe you've also needed to be contemplative and alone at times and seek solitude as well, okay? And I'm also getting the energy of maybe somebody talking behind your back, or words hurting. I'm also seeing something burning the back, or something about a burning back. Maybe somebody's back was hurting, or having issues with someone's back. But I am seeing like burning at the back, which could also mean people saying things they don't mean and then wanting to take them back, stuff like that, okay? Or maybe someone actually literally did get a burn on their back or a burn on their arm, is what I am seeing here. We have, you've come so far, keep bettering yourself, okay? Actually, it says keep betting on yourself. I didn't even really, wow. Well, keep betting on yourself too, and keep bettering yourself. You've come so far, keep betting on yourself, okay? And perhaps some of you have really tried to move on from patterns of frustration when it comes to certain things you've been trying to quit, or addictions that you've been dealing with, and you've come really far. You've put a lot of distance. I feel like with the Chariot, you guys have come a long way in 2024, okay? And there has been some exciting news or some exciting situations that have developed in 2024, and you've come a long way. But I feel like when that excitement and that energy is sparked, it's hard not to fall into old patterns, or it's hard not to fall into old addictions. And perhaps you've had to go back and make several restarts during the year. And for those of you that have, you know, a sponsor, or you're in a program, you know, talking it out really does help. But I also feel like people have been out of reach too. It's like you need to talk to someone or you need help with someone, but that person is out of reach. So you end up kind of having to deal with things on your own with this contemplation card. Okay. And I feel some of you in the past being alone or being by yourself at times maybe could have been challenging. And I feel this year with this contemplation card that some of you have gotten better at being on your own or being alone, which, I mean, that's a good thing, pile number one. That's a good thing that you have had to, that you've gotten better at that. Let's see here. We've got surrender and we've got comfort. Yeah. Well, finding out what makes you feel comfortable, what type of social connections, what type of people, what type of conversations, what type of mental energy is comfortable and fun. And it's like, I like being around people that are fun and outgoing and make me feel comfortable. What I don't like is being around people who use me and then leave. What I don't like is being around people who are all talk and no action, okay? But I actually feel like you've gotten more comfortable making decisions and taking action in the moment in 2024. And maybe that's something in the past you weren't always super comfortable with, but it's like, okay, I'm inspired to say something. I'm inspired to do something now. I'm just going to go for it is what I'm getting. Gemini energy. Yep, I've been thinking about, like with the Lovers card I mentioned, there it is again with Gemini energy, okay? And I kind of feel like instead of burying your head in the sand and kind of ignoring problems that pop up, I feel like you have been taking action and you've been working on the things that have been troubling you, okay? Instead of going back to what's comfortable or what's easy or giving up, I feel like this year you've gotten more intellectually curious about the decisions you're making and being more proactive about working on things. Actually, I feel like there are hard lessons that you learned in 2024 with this Three of Swords here, but I feel like you're learning a lot about yourself and the way your mind works in 2024. And I actually feel like you've been doing a good job with that, pile number one, okay? We have adventure, the Silk Road in Inner Mongolia, okay? And travel, adventure, getting out of town, getting out of Dodge as a way to refresh your mind, okay? Meeting new people along the way. And you may have made more social connections this year, but with Gemini, sometimes the connections may not be as deep, or they may be more superficial connections, or it might have been a lot of starting and stopping and restarting. And perhaps some of you did find comfort in just surrendering and contemplating and spending some time on your own as well. It's been an interesting year because on one side, I feel like you guys have felt really creative and inspired to meet people and go places and try new things and taking a risk and all of that. But you also have had a side where it's been like, I don't know if I want to do all that. I just want to be in my own. I don't want to keep like restarting from the very beginning. I just want to find something that's comfortable and kind of stick with it and surrender into it. Okay. But I feel like it's been an active year. All right. But maybe it's been hard to be active at times as well. We have Virgo energy. I was going to mention Virgo as well here too, but new moon in Virgo, a time to give rather than to take. Okay. So you've been giving a lot this year and sometimes maybe beyond what you're comfortable with and really trying to put yourself out there. But it may have been real tiring as well. And maybe some of you have gotten a little bit ill or felt a little bit sick during the year at various times, or you've had to pull back your energy and become more contemplative, okay, and go within, okay? There's a side of you that wants to be adventurous and have fun and meet people and talk to new people and get on the road and experience adventure, okay? But there's also a part of you, I feel like, that wants to pull back and be contemplative and be quiet and take care of, you know, your physical avatar as well here. We have forge, don't follow. All right, forge, don't follow. Pave a new path. Yeah, Ace of Wands. All right, be the leader you wish that you had. All right, forge, don't follow. And, you know, perhaps people have been, like, other people around you have been burying their head in the sand and taking frustrations out on you, or leaving at the last minute when you're needing to count on them. But Spirit is saying, pave the new path, be the leader that you wish you had, okay? And I feel that's what you guys have been doing in 2024. It's like, if I've been over relying on somebody and they've been frustrating to no end, because they haven't really come through for me, and I feel I'm the one giving and giving and giving, and they're just taking and taking, okay? There's been a new road, and that takes a lot of energy, right? To forge a new road ahead, that really does take a lot of energy. And I'm going to read a little bit about this adventure card here, but it's been good. I feel like what you've been doing in 2024 is actually good, to, like, you know, soak up new ideas, get out there and meet new people, go on new adventures, okay? Adventure card. We're ready to take risks in life. So we time jump to the late 1200s to travel to the Silk Road, which runs from China to Europe. We find ourselves in a large crowd traveling alongside hundreds of cooks, translators, doctors, and more. Although many are riding on horses, we find ourselves atop camels, which is no easy feat. There is so much excitement in the air among all these adventurers. Yeah, adventures and out. And as we ride, we make conversations with the man beside us, Marco Polo, a Venetian merchant, explorer, and a writer. Yeah, making conversations with people. He has just left Zandu and Inner Mongolia, escorted by a vibrant throng around us. He tells us of the marvels he encountered in his explorations of Asia and his years in the court of Kublai Khan. His work will live on in his writing, changing the world. Adventure entails risk, but it is the juice of life. Without it, your life can feel lackluster. Yeah, comfort, surrender, stagnant. Okay, without adventure, life can feel very stagnant. You don't need to know how everything turns out. This is a time to take risks in your life. Something exciting is right around the corner. Have faith there is a higher plan, okay? Instead of waiting for a new quest to unfold, you can begin to create your own adventures. They can even be small adventures in the beginning. Try your usual tasks in a different way. Do something out of the ordinary. Talk to a stranger. Take a road trip without a plan of where you will end up. Yeah, that's very Chariot energy. You may also receive this card if you are considering becoming a writer or a poet. Yeah, something creative. And with the written word, Gemini energy. Really working on that energy in 2024, pile number one, good for you. Doing podcasts or starting an online venture, all right? This card is an excellent sign to move forward with your plan. Yeah, and that's something, instead of just like thinking about it and sitting around in comfort and just thinking about it and not taking the path ahead, 2024 has been about, going out there to take that new path ahead, but it hasn't been easy because there has been frustrations along the way. But Spirit is saying you've come so far in 2024. Keep betting on yourself. Okay, pave a new path, follow a new path. Open up your mind to new conversations with interesting people who spark creative inspiration. Okay. The thing is some of those people may not be totally reliable. Maybe some of you met some adventure type people in 2024 that really opened up your mind to new ideas and new things, but they were in and out of your life and it was hard to kind of make anything stick. Okay. And so anyway, I feel like Spirit is saying you guys did a really good job in 2024, pile number 1. Even if there was frustrations, even if there were time you fell off the wagon or things didn't go as expected or plans were very volatile and changed a lot, I feel like Spirit is saying good for you guys for being open to new perspectives and learning how to spend more time on your own as well. So pile number 1, that is what I am getting for you, my lovelies. I hope that reading resonated for you, and I would love to hear your thoughts and your comments. Let's move on to pile number 2. Okay. Pile number 2, welcome to your reading. You chose the elk, and today we are celebrating your nobility and your accomplishments that you have gained and lessons that you have learned in 2024. Okay, your card talks about powerful forces guiding you, and your ability to conquer challenges is limitless. So let's go ahead, pile number 2, and see pile number 2 who chose the noble elk, what lessons were learned in 2024 that Spirit would like to bring to the forefront. What lessons were learned in 2024? We have the Queen of Cups. Ooh, I like that. Starry, starry night with the Queen of Cups. And let's go ahead and check in. We've got peace. Wow, that's beautiful. Harmony, balance, perfection, equipoise, a sense of well-being, favorable conditions, and expansion. Wow, I love that. Ooh, peace. Finding emotional peace within with the Queen of Cups. Definitely like still waters running deep in 2024, okay? We've got the 10 of Pentacles. We've got the Queen of Swords, okay? And we've got the Fool. And that's interesting, pile number 2, okay? And I see like a lot of stability and a lot of peace because of decisions that you made in 2024 to protect your peace or to protect your family or to protect the ones that you love. But I also see the calling of a new day or the promise of a new day coming towards you as well, okay? And, you know, is it disruptive? Is it boredom? Is it stagnation? Okay, I feel you have discovered a deep sense of inner peace and I within yourself, and I feel like peace is now a different experience for you than it was in the past. Maybe in the past you went out seeking like a lot of, you went out seeking people who were vastly different than you, dating people who were very spontaneous and unreliable, or seeking out situations that were extremely spontaneous and fun, but also unreliable. And I feel like more than ever, in 2024, you've been making smart decisions to protect your peace, okay? And to protect what you've built, 10 of Pentacles, in your life. And perhaps some of you had to take a risk or take a chance when it came to a certain investment that you were making in 2024, whether that was an investment in your education or an investment in your family's education, or, just really having to make some decisions about how you want to invest your time and your mental energy and your time into things in your life, okay? And I feel like, I'm protecting my peace is a major part of a lesson that you learned in 2024. And I feel like a lesson that you learned is I have to be the one to do it, okay? It's on me. The responsibility lies with me. Ten of Pentacles. To make proactive decisions to benefit my future and my family's future, okay? And finding the balance within and finding a sense of well-being and balance within, I actually feel like you guys have learned in 2024. I see the Queen of Cups with the Queen of Swords, okay? And if there was a tendency in the past to kind of sit back and wait for things to come to you instead of proactively making those choices yourself, I feel like 2024 you really are addressing those issues. We have card 3. I am charismatic. Expression comes naturally to you. You are very skilled at communicating your thoughts through conversation and creative pursuits. You are able to get others on board with your ideas. Wow, I am charismatic. I also feel like there could have been some charismatic people around you that were trying to get you on board with their ideas. But I also feel like, well, you liked the charismatic energy or you thought it was fun. I also feel like the Queen of Swords doesn't really suffer fools, and we've got the Fool here. And I feel like the Queen of Swords is like, I'll listen to you, but it doesn't mean you're going to change my mind. I'm an open-minded person, so I'll listen to you, but it doesn't mean that I'm going to be like sucked into your charisma and let it change my wise decision making. Okay. And maybe some of you learned a really important lesson around trusting like your decisions versus falling for like that charismatic saleswoman type of energy. Okay. And I feel if for those of you that had to make a big purchase in 2024, you bought a new car, you bought a house or a condo or a new car, or you made some really big investment in 2024, taking the emotion out of it and not letting people's like wild, zany, charismatic influences like influence your decision making too much. Like sticking to the plan is what I kind of feel like, okay? And that's something that I feel you have been working on in 2024. Okay, we have annoyed. Yes, like very annoyed. Someone coming back into your life with this Fool energy and trying to like reset the energy with you. And but voicing your frustrations, yeah, that's the Queen of Swords here. And perhaps you needed to kind of reset expectations with someone in your life or voice your frustrations. Voicing your frustrations will provide you with an opportunity to explain the situation in a different way, which could be the answer they're looking for, okay? So someone keeps coming back to you, asking the same question over and over, looking for a different answer, trying to annoy you with all their questions, okay? And perhaps some of you have had to voice your frustrations about things this year. And I feel some of you could have been annoyed that you had to say anything in the first place, okay? And sometimes, like, it's like you could have gone somewhere and gotten like really bad service, or gone somewhere and had to basically say the job isn't finished. I need you to go and redo this, okay? But dealing with people who are very charismatic and have high hopes about things but don't really have a plan could have been a very annoying energy in 2024 for you, pile number 2. But I also feel like you've gotten more strong about, you've gotten more forthright and strong about voicing your annoyances about things, because it's like, I am going to protect my peace. So don't come around here annoying me. All right. We have quarrelsome. Does this action fulfill an emotional need for you? Does it make you feel powerful? Is it a bad habit that needs to stop? Okay. And maybe you're like, you know what? I have been more quarrelsome this year, and I have been calling people out more this year. And I have been really annoyed with some of the ideas that people have been suggesting to me. And maybe you're like, you know what? I guess I did become, maybe you're realizing in 2024, pile number 2, that you're a little more closed-minded than you thought. Now, it's not necessarily a bad thing, okay? It's not a bad thing, but maybe some of your like spontaneous expression and communication for your creative pursuits has been kind of shut down a little bit, because mentally, you know, and I also feel trying to find something wrong with things, even though like things are going well, could be something that is annoying you. Now, you have certain ways of thinking about things and certain standards that you like people to adhere to. But if someone shows up and does something way different than what you thought they were going to do, that may be a feeling of, well, that's disturbing my peace, and I don't like that because it's changing the way that I think about something. Okay. But I feel there has been some lessons around this for you in 2024, because it's like, okay, you know, I'm annoyed and I feel quarrelsome and I feel upset about something because I expected it to be this way, but it's not. Okay. And then I'm voicing my frustrations over it. Is it actually making you feel better to voice your frustrations, or is it creating, you know, is it not helping with inner balance and inner harmony? And I feel like that's kind of where you've been in 2024 is, don't disturb my inner balance and my inner harmony. But at the same time, if you do, I'm going to voice my opinion. But at the same time, I don't want to get stuck like in a closed-minded position either about certain issues. So interesting energy. Okay. If you were able to believe in Santa and the Tooth Fairy, you can definitely believe in yourself. Okay. That's interesting because it's coming out of underneath the Fool, but your ability to kind of process new information and deal with new incoming things and reset your expectations, right? And all of this is definitely a lesson of 2024. If you were able to believe in Santa and the Tooth Fairy, you can definitely believe in yourself. The problem may be is that you are not believing in what someone else is saying, maybe. We have abundance, okay? So 10 of Pentacles, definitely feeling abundance and feeling peace when things are abundant, when money is in order, feeling very abundant and peaceful. Okay, we have confidence. I love that. You guys really, that's great. Perhaps some success this year has made you feel more confident and brought you a sense of peace within. Okay, and I feel there's a good opportunity for you guys in 2024 to get a sense of flow going. And but when people interrupt that flow with their charismatic, zany, wacky ideas, or just do something that you weren't expecting when you've already like kind of planned it out in your mind, that may create a lot of annoyance. Okay. So let's go ahead and see. We've got Aquarius energy and collaborate. Okay. Collaborating with others. I feel like when you guys are kind of doing your own thing and the responsibility rests on your shoulders, you are executing things really, really well. But I feel like where some of the annoying energy has come into play, excuse me while I open my door, pile number 2. But I feel like where some of that annoying energy has come into play is when you are collaborating with other people, okay? And there could be personality differences or people trying to open up your mind to a particular issue. And it's like, I've already made up my mind and I got into confidence and I got into flow with it. And I'm feeling abundant in my viewpoints and the way I see things. And my decisions are actually backed by facts and structure and rationale and all of that. But here comes Aquarius energy, or here comes this energy of collaborating or being open to new ideas, to different ways of seeing things. Okay. And so that may be a little bit annoying. Just as you are getting confident, a confident, abundant flow going with something, then somebody comes in and is real annoying that way to you. We have creativity, the Venice Renaissance, and Italy. Okay. And we'll talk about that card here in a minute. We have New Moon in Gemini. Communication is key. Yeah, that is voicing your frustrations will provide you with an opportunity to explain the situation in a different way, which could be the very answer that they're looking for. And it's like, okay, I've explained this over and over and over, you know, and you're really learning lessons around communication, using your throat chakra in a way that makes sense for you, when to like shut it down versus when to focus is something. But I also feel like, you know, communication maybe has been annoying this year, or getting different viewpoints on things or different answers on things could have been very annoying, okay, at certain times. We have here earthed, learning how to be human in the world, but not of it, okay? And that's very Fool type energy, learning how to be human in the world, but not of it, okay? And it's like, I need things to go a certain way every day in order to feel that peace within. But there's also a side of me that is very like quirky and zany and different. And I am saddled with this heavy decision making about my future and money and where things are headed and protecting my family and protecting my peace and things. But I also miss that side of myself that it was very charismatic and fun and zany and would act weird sometimes. Okay. But people acting weird or acting different just to be weird or be different may also be kind of annoying this year, or may have been kind of irritating to you, pile number 2, as you're trying to like set out your line of thinking about something. Okay. So I want to take a look at this creativity card. And, you know, sometimes like we're annoyed because we have set our mind on something, but then new thoughts, new energy, new attitudes towards things come in. And it's an opportunity to get more creative and to be more open-minded. And perhaps that is a lesson that you guys were kind of learning in 2024, okay? We arrive in a time period called the Renaissance. Every direction you and I turn, we can see the effects of this time period in architecture, art, literature, mathematics, music, philosophy, politics, religion, and science. Wow. And you know, the Queen of Swords and the Ten of Pentacles is kind of liking the old way. It's kind of Capricorn in a way. It's like, I like the old way of looking at things because it brings me a lot of peace and it doesn't jostle me from within. But the Renaissance was all about modernizing things and updating things. And perhaps some of you were trying to modernize or update your technology as well. The vibrant energy of this time inspires many people to question long-held beliefs about each of the arts. This creates an environment of curiosity and breakthroughs in which new ideas are constantly being introduced. Okay? And somebody or something in your life wanting to bring in more creative energy, okay, but it's also annoying. It's like, okay. Immense creativity and inspiration are expanding in your life. Listen and act on any spark of inspiration that you receive. Don't wait for a better time to follow through with an idea. Even if it seems unconventional, welcome fresh ways of viewing the world around you. Trust that your creative ventures will be successful. Creativity can arrive in many forms. There are unusual expressions of art. There are the usual expressions of art, music, dance, poetry, and writing. But there are also other ways, such as novel ideas, new philosophies, and inventions, even dreams and visions about the past and future. Creativity and inspiration are, in fact, receptivity. Yeah, Queen of Cups, a way of being open to the Creator. One of the most profound ways to activate creativity is to be receptive. This card suggests that you take time to be still and open to divine inspiration. Let your creative juices flow. Pile number 2. And maybe that's something you've been wanting to do more of, but it was really hard in 2024, okay, to mentally get yourself there because of some of the, and Aquarius energy does have to do with like fixed opinions about things, okay? And other humans may have been very annoying to you this year, but if you were able to believe in Santa and the Tooth Fairy when you were younger, you can definitely believe in yourself. Pile number 2. I think you guys are finding a lot of abundance and confidence in 2024, but there's a need to open up to like new things and new ideas to really keep the creativity going and flowing. Okay, so pile number 2, that is what I am getting for you, my lovelies, for lessons learned in 2024. Do let me know how that resonated for you, and have a beautiful day. Let's move on to pile number 3. Okay. Pile number 3, welcome to your reading. You chose the Owl card, and this card says magic on it. And we are asking today what lessons you've learned in 2024, and Spirit wants to help summarize that for you. It says, let go of the past and make room for a better life. Rise up. Magic and wisdom are your birthright, okay? Making room for a better life and rising up because you can, my friends. Let's go ahead and see. Let's take stock of 2024 and see what lessons were learned, okay? Let's see, for pile number 3, looking at that owl magic, what lessons were learned. And I was going to say 2023, which is so funny. Maybe some of you did have a really big 2023, or you learned a lot of lessons in 2023. But something carrying over from 2023, definitely psychically popping into your reading here. We have the King or the Knight of Swords here. Perhaps some of you have a specific lesson around a person that you learned in 2024. Let's go ahead and see. A lot of times with the Knight of Swords, it's like acting before you know all the facts, or your actions getting out ahead of your thoughts, right? Let's see what we have here. We have limitation, okay? Self-discipline, practice, self-respect, introspection, ritual, cultivate patience, build up energy, and maturity. Okay, so there definitely is a big energy. Let me get the door real quick here. Pile number 3. Sorry about that. My dog asked to go in and asked to go out, and it's all just an adventure to her. Practice, self-respect, and introspection. Okay, so limitation, Page of Pentacles. Ooh, and I kind of getting an energy around study or putting aside time to think things through. And perhaps some of you have had to embrace a new routine as well that does include self-discipline, whether that's getting up earlier, whether that's sticking to a schedule, sticking to a routine. I am seeing like the need to be more regular with your schedule, or more disciplined about the effort that you're putting into something, okay? And needing to cultivate patience, and building up maturity. Now, you may think Page of Pentacles seems like not a very mature card. It's a page, right, in the tarot, but the pages are actually the thrones for the aces. So the page is the Page of Pentacles is the throne for the Ace of Pentacles. And what we put our time into and what we lift up and what we focus on becomes super important. And Page of Pentacles is actually a very grounded energy too. And it can be a very mature and grounded energy. And perhaps some of you were learning more self-discipline, like I said, around your schedule, waking up, going to the gym, sticking to a routine. This year has demanded more of a structure and a discipline from you. And I also feel self-respect really coming through here. Okay, instead of reacting based on whims or doing everything at the last minute or constantly checking in on someone or going back to someone all the time, I do feel like, self-respect and staying focused on what you promised to yourself has been a big thing for this year too. And we have Queen of Wands here, okay? Rediscovering a sense of self, and we have the World card. Now, what's interesting, there's multiple people. We have the Knight of Swords, Queen of Wands, and Page of Pentacles showing up in your reading. 3 people so far. So you've had some lessons in your life with multiple people. Okay, I'm getting a mother and a child. I'm getting your mother and a child that you may have. All right, I'm getting a relationship or someone that you were talking to. Okay, there are certain conversations that I feel you guys are not going to be having with certain people going forward. And maybe you have left certain people from your life behind. Now, I'm not saying like you close the door, close the chapter on certain family members, but maybe the way you are interacting with certain people in your family, like it's like, I demand more respect. I'm taking control of the situation and I'm going to be taking control here. And it's not even about demanding respect. It's like, I will be respected and I am taking control of this situation and I will be the leader in this situation. Okay. And I feel there is, some of you may have, I feel these Taurus energy down here and Leo energy down here is really interesting to me. So perhaps some of you have a Taurus or a Leo in your life where it's like, oh my gosh, what are they doing? Okay. Or they're looking at you like, what are you doing? All right. So, but anyway, we've got a chapter is closing with multiple people in your life in 2024, pile number 3. And that's a lot of endings, and the World card is a Saturn card in the tarot, and it does have to do with lessons learned and maturing. Okay. And I feel like your day-to-day you've been maturing through your day-to-day, but you've also, I feel like, put some self-discipline, boundaries around some certain people in your life. We have 555. I am optimistic. A major shift is about to come into your life. Experience and change your path direction. Okay? A major shift is about to come into your life experience and change your path direction. Be open and stay positive. Okay, and that may have been really, really hard with the maturity and the limitations and the discipline. Staying positive and staying energetic and staying upbeat may have feel very hard and challenging. And I honestly feel that you guys are like leaving a part of yourself behind in 2024. And whether that's ego and pride or immature reactions to people who are not respecting you, whether that's like I kind of feel, and actually pile number 3, some of you may feel like you were giving up on a dream, okay? On something that was very like inspiring and creative and exciting for you. And it's like, I have to let that go and I have to part ways from that. Um, and some of you may really feel the effects of aging in 2024 as well. um, Feeling like, okay, I'm not like the hot, sexy, youthful person that I was. Maybe some of you had a major birthday in 2024 or 2023 where you turn 30 or you turn 40 or you turn 50, 50, that type of thing. And it's like, I don't feel connected to that like sexy Queen of Wands, powerful sexual goddess type of energy. Like, I don't feel connected to that anymore, or I don't really feel like I want to. It's like I'm not interested in what someone's offering me anymore. And I am optimistic about my life, but I'm also at a place in my life where I've matured out of a lot of things through learning deep lessons about my self-respect and my maturity and my discipline within myself, okay? And it's hard to stay optimistic, but at the same time, I do feel like you guys are turning the page here, and there is like a recognition of aging or maturity, okay? We have here overwhelmed. Wow. Sharing responsibilities is not a weakness of character. In fact, it demonstrates an ability to trust in others and allows them the opportunity to participate. And perhaps that's something like you're like, I can't carry all this responsibility on my own. I can't do this all on my own. And maybe when you were younger and you had more energy, or maybe when you were at a different place in your life, it was easier, but it kind of feels like all the responsibility to lead or call the shots is on you. And it's an overwhelming feeling. And some of you may have been dealing with a lot of overwhelm in 2024, okay? Whether that's like your children need a lot from you, or they need you to step in and lead them and show them the way, or even financially, right? They want something from you financially, or the older generation, your parents, etc., are needing more help, right? It's an overwhelming feeling. And Spirit just wants you to know that sharing responsibilities is not a weakness of character. It demonstrates the ability to trust and allows other people to participate, okay? We have here envy. Ugh. And looking back and saying, I wish I would have. And I don't feel you guys are envying any other person. I feel like maybe it's an old version of yourself. Um, like the younger version of yourself, or the more optimistic version of yourself, or the like younger sexy version of yourself. Like, it's like, oh my gosh, like I'm accepting what's coming and I'm accepting that things are changing, but um and there may be some envy there, looking back at young people and saying, oh my gosh, they have so much life ahead of them. They've got so many great decisions that they can make for themselves. And if I could, I would go back in time and do something over. I would be more structured. I would be more disciplined. Page of Pentacles. I would invest more into my future and into myself. Okay. Envy. Remind yourself that no one has it all. It's okay to celebrate other people's successes. You are truly good enough. Okay. And maybe there are some people, you see them graduating or you see them moving up to the next level, and it's like, oh, I just feel limited and I can't. Why can't I move to the next level? And why do I feel so disempowered by all of this? Okay. So this is some tough energy, pile number 3, that you've been dealing with in 2024. And maybe it is hard to not be envious of certain people. It's like, well, they have all this time, they have all this life ahead of them, and I don't. Or I wish I would have taken my own development more seriously back then. okay? And so there definitely could be some energy around that. I don't feel you guys are like mean to other people because you are envious or jealous of certain things. I think you're just realizing where you're at, and you're having an honest experience, like a stripped down, honest experience of going, okay, I am limited right now. There are some limitations, some things that I can't do that I could do when I was younger, or there's some things that I wish I would have done differently. And it's okay. It's okay, pile number 3. Like, I've been there myself. It says, don't water yourself down for anyone. They can take all of you or nothing at all. Okay. And maybe some of you are looking back at a prior version of yourself. You're like, I used to be the Queen of Wands. I used to be optimistic and sexy and fun and wild and creative and a free spirit and a leader and in control of my life and myself and calling the shots and like proud of myself and confident in what I was doing. Okay. And I feel like in 2024, this has been really hard because there's been so many like responsibilities and expectations on you that you may have some of the things that you put a lot of energy into in the past. It kind of feels like maybe you haven't been able to do that, now. And it's maybe making you feel like I said earlier, like you lost a piece of yourself in 2024. Okay. But I do feel like you can get it back. It says, I am optimistic, right? For those of you that are trying to like lose weight or keep yourself in good shape health wise, and it's like, oh, I'm just so overwhelmed with everything going on in my life. It's hard to stay on the wagon when it comes to like taking care of myself and taking care of my body or feeling sexy and all this. Okay. Spirit's really reminding you, especially if you've been around people where you've really dulled your light for them. It says, don't water yourself down for anyone. They can take all of you or nothing at all. There's some big realizations or big illuminations, thinking about the past and maybe times in your life when you did water yourself down for another person. We have determined. I'm determined to kind of get my old self back. I'm determined to feel confident and proud of myself again. I am determined to not let, I'm determined not to let anybody else put me down or make me feel bad for where I am today. Okay. And honestly, I feel like somebody in your life could actually envy where you are, pile number 3, or what you have, or envy the position you're in. And you're like, who's envying me? Come on now. Okay. But sometimes you can see where someone's snobbish, weird, or rude attitude to you has been built in a sense of fear or envy towards you. Okay. And so I think that there is possibly a woman or somebody in your life who is envious of you. And it's like, okay. And I feel like you guys are like, man, I don't know why they would be so envious of me. Like, I've been through a lot. I've been stripped bare. I've had to like strip away a lot of the things that made me feel powerful or confident. Why would this person envy me? Why would they continue to envy me, right? But I feel, you don't always know why people envy someone else or why they have that attitude towards others, okay? But I actually feel when it comes to envy, like I said before, it's more about envying an older version of yourself where you felt you had more control and you were more passionate about your life. Okay. And we have here, and also too, not watering down yourself for anyone in your life. If there's anybody in your life that gets really competitive with you, a friend, etc., a family member, somebody in your life who only sees you with certain glasses on or certain goggles on. They only can take you in that way. I feel like you guys are like, no, I'm not going to water myself. And maybe that's why you're leaving some people behind in 2024. Okay. I do feel you're closing the chapter and leaving at least 2 or 3 people behind. Pile number 3. We have solar calm and clarify. Yeah. And getting really calm. And looking at like, what am I determined to fix in my life going forward? And what is overwhelming me so much that I can't focus on that anymore? And it's from a place of calm and meditation, calm, sitting with your emotions, sitting with your feelings. It's from this perspective that you're able to understand in more detail. We have power, dinosaurs in the Jurassic period, okay? And I'm going to talk about this card in a minute. And we have, you're very close to achieving your goal. Yeah, of moving on and moving into a different chapter. I feel 2025 is going to be completely different energy for you guys. And, you know, sometimes like we have to be still and quiet and silent and sit with the energy. Now, it's been a long time coming, I feel, pile number 3, as far as certain goals that you wanted to achieve in your life, whether that has to do with your schedule, studying, routines, body goals, weight loss, feeling confident, feeling good about yourself, okay? I feel you're at the end of a chapter with, you know, these limitations that you've been experiencing. And I feel next year is, it looks like you're very close to achieving your goal, or things are moving forward in a more powerful way for you here. It says your life is a canvas, artist, manifestation, and creative accountability. Okay. And creative accountability is saying, I am the artist who is drawing on this canvas of my life, and I am accountable to myself. Okay. If I don't like the life that I've created for myself, then I have the ability to go back to the canvas and reimagine it. Okay. And Spirit is saying your life is a canvas, and maybe some of you are wanting to go back to drawing or painting or creative hobbies that you really enjoyed, but you've just been so overwhelmed and you haven't really had the time. And it's like, I really want to go back and connect with that part of myself that feels very powerful and committed to the things that are important to me. I really want to get back to that space. Okay. And I feel like what Spirit is saying is one of the lessons of 2024 is you are in control. Okay. Especially of how you express yourself creatively as an artist, and do not water yourself down for anyone. They can take all of you or nothing. Okay. And I'm going to look at this power card here for you guys. And this power card is saying, wow. And we mean wow. As we travel back over 150 million years to the age of the dinosaurs, in what will be called Wyoming of the United States, the ground vibrates below our feet from the heavy thuds of a Tyrannosaurus and a Triceratops walking in the distance. Oops, duck. A pterodactyl just flew low over us. Okay? Intimidated by the casual power embodied by all those animals, we decide to take cover behind a huge boulder and peer out at the bush. Huge conifers, fig trees, and large ferns dominate the landscape. The land is alive with the vibrancy of these magnificent creatures and surrounding plant life. Okay? True power doesn't need to shout it from the mountaintops. It's as steady, serene, as sure of its own might as a dinosaur. Know that who you are is enough. You are being called to claim authority in your life. If you have been giving your power away to someone else or something else, pulling this card indicates it's time to take a stand. Step beyond fear and hesitation and find the place within you that is divine and powerful beyond measure. Okay, bring light to the darkness. Bring support and love to those who are unfortunate. If there's a situation in your life of which you are unsure, Know that by standing in your power, you will succeed. This card also indicates that it's time to increase your physical power through exercise, yoga, walking, or working out. And that's exactly what I was talking about earlier with physical stamina, physical strength, working out, yoga, exercise, walking, increasing your physical power is going to make you feel more powerful creatively. And perhaps it's been hard to do that because you have been so overwhelmed and time has been an issue. There hasn't been time to do all of this. Okay. But Spirit is saying you are close to achieving your goal. You're closer than you think you are to developing these good habits that are going to make you feel like yourself again. Okay. And sometimes we pick like the etheric magical card, right? The owl energy. But what Spirit is really wanting to bring in is like something on a more tangible level. And that's what I feel like is coming through in your reading, is talking about more of the tangible aspects, okay? And maybe there is a couple of people that you are needing to leave behind in 2025 to get parts of your old self back, or to rediscover those parts of your old self that you were watering down because other people couldn't really handle it. And life was kind of fading to this very gray color. And now you're kind of getting your power back and rediscovering your determination to get your power back and to get your physical strength back in line, okay? So pile number 3, that is what I am getting for you, my friends. I wish you all the very best now and in the future. Take care.